that's happened?
Yeah. Wait, what did you say again? You said that we've been told about having mini tests.
Yeah, basically there's going to be some sort of testing that we're in there, and we're trying to get that done sort of in the, I think it's supposed to have like a couple of weeks revision before it, and then we get it done in some lessons. And there's a bit of flexibility on when we have to do that. So it doesn't have to, we don't have to strictly keep to Mr. Smith's timetable. We can. So in short, what he was suggesting was that the last week of lockdown, so next week, and the week after that, so first week back would be the revision, and then the testing would be the week after that. I'm proposing from our point of view, because we're about a week away from finishing mechanics, that we just push everything back a week. So next week, so the last week of lockdown, we try and get through this chapter, and then we have the 2 weeks of revision when we're back at school, and that in a way would be quite good because we can just revise the whole of mechanics over those 2 weeks. And then so then the one test that you do with me will be on mechanics, and rest assured I will make sure that it's not, and none of the questions will be there to try and catch you out. You know, it's absolutely key that you get the chance to demonstrate that what you can do. So I will make sure that the questions we have will be like bog standard pulley question, or a bog stand, you know, something that I know that if you've kept up to date that you're going to be familiar with. Okay, and you know, we're not going to try and put anything in it which is like really sort of off the wire sort of problem solving, and the idea is for you to demonstrate what you know, not to sort of crack under pressure because it's sort of, you know, it's getting you to do stuff that you've got to think on your feet too much. So so don't worry about these. It will be just, it won't be the be all and end all. You know, from maths point of view, we'd rather we didn't have to do any testing at the moment. We just tried, we'd rather we waited until the summer term, but we are where we are. But I just want to, so I think the idea is you're going to have one mechanics test with me, with my stuff, and then one pure test with Mr. Kent of the stuff that you've done recently with him. So has anyone got any queries just on that before? So yeah, just before that. So I'm basically pushing it all back a week because it seems daft that we say it's going to be testing the mechanics all bar 3 lessons worth before we finished it. To me, it makes absolute sense that 2 weeks of revision that Mr. Smith wants you to have, we might as well be revising the whole of mechanics, and I can then just be sort of you know, making sure that we're practicing questions that are the type that will be coming up. Hattie.
Do we have to do a test, or can we just wait until the summer to do it? I think that's a good idea.
Well, I couldn't agree more. I mean, if maths had had their way, that's exactly what we've done. But that's not what.
I think I'm going to say something because I don't think it's a very good plan personally. Yeah, especially so many of the subjects are so close to finishing.
I know, but it doesn't have to be that I don't think that. I think that's what Mr. Smith decided, Hattie. I don't think there's much we can do about it. I mean, if you haven't finished, then because the idea is this is instead of trial exams, which you would have had anyway, and you wouldn't have finished. So the questions that would be coming up will, but by all means express your displeasure with it, Hattie, but I don't think it's going to change anything. We personally, as a maths department, we would have preferred that given we went back for trial exams, we just scrapped it. We just did testing in the summer term. But
that's what I want. But
yeah, but I don't think well, do what you want to do, Hattie. But
I'll try my best. I'll try my best.
You do your best. Okay, but I think from our point of view, we might as well take the opportunity, given we have to do this, that it would be a good opportunity for us just to consolidate all our mechanics knowledge. So from that point of view,
that's a good idea.
Yeah. So just so you're clear, I've got permission from Mrs. Miskin that we're not going to strictly keep to his time. There is flexibility anyway, but I don't want you thinking I haven't read what's going on. Next week we will be finishing the syllabus. It won't be our first week of revision. Our 2 weeks of mechanics revision will be the 2 weeks we're back at term. So that might be a week out of sync with some of your other subjects. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, let's press on. So I think what we're going to be doing today, you will have seen before. OK, so this is where we've got variable acceleration. So be really clear in your mind. This is not SUVAT. All right, SUVAT is where you've got constant acceleration. So we visited this in lower sixth. You will also have visited it a bit for your IGCSE and any further maths studies that you did. OK, so just to remind you of the basics here. Let's do it from the differentiating point of view. The rate of change that you're covering distance, displacement, so ds dt equals v. So we're going left to right here in blue. So the rate of change of distance, so differentiating distance gives you velocity, and the rate of change of the velocity, your velocity is changing, that's what gives you acceleration. So I think the blue one conceptually is easy to remember, because differentiation is the rate of change. So how quickly you're covering ground is speed. How quickly your speed is changing is your acceleration. And then in red, going right to left, that's just the other way around. So you integrate acceleration to get velocity, and you integrate velocity to get distance. So it just goes the other way. So we have seen this in year one. You can see at the top it's saying year one, section 11.4. So this isn't going to be new. I'm planning that we just work our way through the odd questions here, because bearing in mind Mr. Smith's new requirements, I don't think I can push it that we don't get this done by the end of next week. OK, so for now, I just want us to do the odd questions, please, here, because this isn't something that's brand new. And then if we haven't got all those done, then so be it. If you haven't had a chance to go back into the even, so be it. We can do that another time. What I did think as well is you do have a few days before our next lesson. OK, I don't see you Friday. I see you Monday. So I'm not saying want you to work all weekend, but it's not like we've got another lesson tomorrow. So you do have a bit of time to try and get these done. So could we just please just try and work our way through the odd questions for 8C, please. I'm not anticipating that not suggesting I read through those examples for you. I think they're pretty straightforward. You might be a little bit rusty on differentiating and integrating sin and cos, but I think we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So if we could work through 8C, the odds, please, that would be good. I'll stop the recording.
We've done integrating sin and cos. We've done differentiating it with Mr.
Yeah, no, that did occur to me, Evie. And if we find that it starts getting tricky, then no, because obviously we haven't done a great deal of obviously we haven't done upper sixth integration yet. I realise that's the thing we're going to be going back to. If we find that they're getting a bit tricky, we'll just put them on hold and revisit those after we've done integration. But from what I've seen, just quickly going through, from your knowledge of how you differentiate them, it's just the opposite. So let's cross that bridge when we get to it. But if we find it's a stumbling block, Evie, then we'll just leave those questions out and make a note that we need to revisit them after we've done integration.
Okay, thank you.
It's a good point. It did occur to me that but I still thought we might as well have a look at the ones with sin and cos in them.